Hi guys, welcome back to my kitchen. Today join me, let's decorate this beautiful princess themed cake. So I first started off with my vanilla sponge, and this cake is going to be 6 inches, 4 layers. And I added some buttercream onto my cake drum, added the first layer, and piped some buttercream onto the actual cake and spread it around using my offset spatula. This prevents the filling, especially when it's soft, from just seeping into the layers of the cake. Then I piped a border or a dam around the circumference using my spatula just to smoothen it out, and filled the center with my homemade strawberry jam, which is so delicious. It's almost like a strawberry caramel. I repeated the same process again, piping the dam, filling in the strawberry jam, ensuring that all of the corners are nicely filled. This will prevent any air pockets from forming, which will eventually cause the filling to ooze out. And then adding in another layer of cake using the offset spatula to smoothen out the frosting, which also seals in the filling. And here I'm piping the last dam onto the cake. And for this part, the frosting was a bit soft, and just to ensure that the dam will stay up and hold the filling, I set the cake into the fridge a little bit for it to harden and set up. And then in the meantime, I started to apply my crumb coat, which is the first coat of frosting. As you can see, it helps to lock in all of the crumbs and prevent the crumbs from entering the final layer of the frosting when you apply it. Just using my offset spatula to ensure that every part of the cake is covered. This also ensures that the cake does not dry out while you're working on it. Once I covered every part of the cake, I let it set up, and then here I am adding the final layer of strawberry jam and the final layer of cake. So now I have the height that I'm looking for. Now it's time to go ahead and finish my crumb coat by ensuring every part of the cake is nicely covered with the frosting. After I work on the sides, I apply some frosting on the top and do the same thing to ensure that the cake is covered with frosting. Once I'm done with this, I set the cake into the refrigerator for the initial crumb coat to set up. It makes the final coat of frosting easier to apply, and it also allows the frosting to set up perfectly when you're working with a cold cake. Here I'm just making sure the corners are nice and sealed using my bench scraper to smooth it out. Now out of the refrigerator, I'm applying my next layer of frosting, working with my bench scraper to get a nice smooth cake, cleaning up the corners on the top for sharp edges. And here again, after I set it into the refrigerator for a third time, I'm applying the final coat, and I'm trying my best to get a nice smooth coat of frosting because this cake is not going to be covered with fondant. It's going to be just a plain canvas of frosting. Here I'm just making a name banner. I rolled out some fondant with some Tylose powder in it, painted the name on there, and let it sit on the side so that it could harden up. And now I roll out another piece of fondant, and here I'm just adding the princesses using edible glue to add them onto the fondant. This ensures that they stick properly. And just rolling up the corners like a scroll. Added some edible glue onto the cake and added the banner with the princesses. I rolled out some fondant, and I also covered the cake board. This enables for a prettier, neater finish. It's time to get on with working on the princesses and their dresses. So first I am starting out with Cinderella, adding some edible glue, adding her dress onto there. Then after that I went on to Sleeping Beauty, just moving it around so that it falls and sets properly. Then Belle from Beauty and the Beast. It was a little trickier than I thought, just to ensure that the dresses are nicely set. Here I'm doing Anna's dress, and I didn't film when I did Elsa's dress. And there you have it, all of their dresses are nicely on there. I added some little roses, and now it's time for me to add all of the finishing touches, which is the tiara that I made a day ahead and let it sit and dry, and 2 roses. Then I also made a tiny tiara which goes in front and painted it with edible gold dust. And there you have it, finished beautiful princess themed cake. Turned out so adorable. I also added a number 4 because the little princess was turning 4. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please like, share and subscribe to my channel and leave a comment below on what you would like to see me make next. As always, thank you for joining me as we created this beautiful cake. Until next time, stay blessed.